Alright, what is going on, you guys? So, we are down here at Nick's in Port Orange, and we are gonna attempt to get the engine ready for basically the engine swap. I haven't seen Turdzilla in a few weeks, and I am so missing it. I'm looking at Turdzilla right now, and this is what I'm seeing, and I can't wait to get this car back going. So I brought a bunch of parts down here, loaded up. This is why I drove the brown car, because I have a bunch of parts in here. I did not want to throw all the parts in the Cobra. So we took the brown car down, and we got the valve covers, clutch, a bunch of stuff in here, and let's go check in with Nick. Oh, it's just been sitting here. What a sad car. I got you coffee.
Thanks, sir. Appreciate it.
Alright, so here's the Cobra engine. First thing we're going to do is take the harness off of here, since we're not going to be using it. So that's what we're going to do first. That looks good for a 90,000 mile engine, especially in the way the exterior looks. That looks pretty good. It's the chain.
Yep.
Tight.
No slack, no back play.
Well, that's a good sign.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so far it looks pretty good internally. Oh yeah. You got the keys? This should be interesting. So as of last time trying to start this thing, it basically turned over with like zero compression, it sounded like. So we're gonna try using some of this and see if it fires up.
Compression.
Oh yeah.
Spin it.
The old 2 valve. Should have oil in it.
Yeah.
It's just black.
It does. Amazingly. Didn't put a hole in the lock.
Ready?
Go. Keep turning it. Give it some gas. Open the throttle. Now try to start it. Nope.
It's dead. Hey, but the battery's good at least.
Yeah, right? Strong ass battery.
So we just went ahead and took off EGR. We're definitely not using EGR. Fun fact, this car has EGR both in the back and the front that looped around there. So we don't need any of those parts off of this car. We're also not going to be using the knock sensors since the 2 valve doesn't use the knock sensors. And we're basically taking off all the junk on this engine and putting some new gaskets on it. So we're going to load up the engine with the valve covers that we painted the other day. So we got some brand new gaskets for this. Were these the Felpro ones? Yep. Got new seals for the spark plugs and a brand new gasket to go around. Alright, we're going to load the valve cover on. So always put a little RTV where the timing cover meets the head.
Grab me the bolts.
Bolts right on the ground right there. So John Gift actually sent these coils. These are off his Terminator. He picked up new ones that we're going to use. He actually just picked up an 03 Cobra, and after 200 miles of him owning his new Cobra. This happened, and that shot through his coil here. But luckily he got a new set and he's getting the head fixed up. But we have 7 coils, and then I have another set out of the Mark 8 that we can use to make a full set. Alright, we got the valve covers on. And lift up the engine to do the oil pan, get the rest of the harness off. Let's see, we'll get the AC and power steering compressor off of it. Do a rear main seal. We need to drain it out of oil, it has oil in it. And basically finish stripping this thing down. And we got rid of all EGR in all 4 corners. We're gonna replace the rear main seal as well. I think timing cover was fine.
We're gonna use everything from here.
Yeah. Except the engine. Right?
Yeah.
So Nick wanted to show you guys something with his car. He changed something about it. I think he raised the front coilovers. Is that what you did? Yeah, so it's sitting a little high up front. Oh! Yeah, it's missing something.
Yep, I sold the 4-valve to a local guy in Palm Coast, turbo and the hot side. None of the actual components though, no wastegate, no blow-off valve, none of that stuff, none of the cold side.
And
we got a present I'm going to show you guys in a second.
Yep, ready, set. Oh, and in here.
Oh.
So here's a hint on the back seat. That's fuel rails. Well, what is that?
That looks like a Coyote cover.
That looks like a Coyote cover. Looks like a Coyote intake manifold.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What are we gonna use that for? Oh yeah. But even better is the fact it's 6R80 behind it.
Power by the Hour, give a shout out to them.
Power by the Hour, plug and play harness, 2015 engine, 6R80 trans.
Yep.
And
to Sellers Racing Performance for a custom turbo setup. We're gonna go in the new Edge.
oh yeah. Yeah, so you're not even gonna need these.
No.
I'm gonna go right to Turbo Coyote, 6R80. That's gonna be fun.
Oh yeah, 800 horsepower bust.
Alright, and we're pulling the oil pan now. What does that look like?
A little water.
That's pretty gross.
Nothing I ain't seen come out of a motor before.
Is that metal or is that just water drops?
Water. Feel it. That's metal. Big chunks, damn.
That's not good. So we have some bad news. After pulling the oil pan off, we found that the oil pickup tube has some metal shavings there. It also looks like there's some metal shavings in the oil pan. So we're basically going to take a pause here. That is not good news. That means it could have a rod bearing issue. Nick says it could be a thrust bearing issue. I'm going to talk with Chris some more. He pulled the engine out of the car, so it was running and driving fine, which is possible. Just looking at that, I don't want to put that in the car and have it knock right away or have it knock really soon. So we're going to kind of look into some other options. And I'm also going to talk with Chris, and we'll basically figure out what to do there. Well, here's old technology and new technology.
Yeah, right.
So your AC compressor will just bolt right up?
Power by the hour sells the bracket kit for it too.
Power by the hour for the win. Well, at least I have one good running Mustang. 2-valve. Alright, so it's a little bit later. We cleaned up the shop, put the engine away next to Nick's Coyote. So after looking at the pictures, which I just showed you guys here, I mean, that engine's definitely hurt. I mean, Nick over here has built several engines, and that's a lot of metal.
Oh yeah.
Like, because basically when it was pulled, it was said to be running perfectly fine without any noises, which is possible, but it's, if we put that in the car, it's going to either knock right away or knock down the line, and that could be a rod bearing or a thrust bearing. So I mean, it's just not worth putting in the car the way it is. And even just installing bearings is like it's like a band-aid for it. It really needs to be rebuilt. And I've tried talking to Chris, where we got the engine from, but he really doesn't want to refund the engine. So right now we just have to figure out a better plan for a new engine for the car.
Maybe a Coyote.
Yeah, I want to do a Coyote. It's just gotta get the money out of this, because right now I have $900 into it, $50 in gaskets, which isn't too bad. The clutch can be reused on whatever new engine goes in the car. What else do I have into it? IMRC delete plates. I don't have too much into it, but I do have 900 into the engine itself, and I need to get that out. And I would love to be able to just bring it back to where I got it from, get my money back, but he doesn't want to do that, even with, you know, showing the evidence there. But the worst comes to worst, I can tear down the engine, part out the block, the crank, the cams, the intake manifold, and, you know, try to recoup some money that way.
Yeah, so if anyone's looking for any of that stuff, just let us know and I'll tear up the motor and get it to you. Crank, forged crank.
Yeah, it has a forged
Cobra.
crank, test kit block, 96 and 98 Cobra intake cams, and then the Cobra intake as well.
It is important to note that the crank is not scored. The cams are not scored. The metal just started to happen. So we saved it pretty quickly. If we tear it apart, there's not gonna be any issues with it if you do buy one of the parts.
Yeah. So anyway, we're gonna head to a meet over here in Daytona and see what's going on there. And yeah, so that's the update, the unfortunate update. I'm pretty bummed because I wanted to get that car back on the road. Probably just gonna swap the plate to the brown car and drive that car until Turdzilla is back up and running. So yeah, let's head to this meet. All right, so we just made it out to this meet. Let's go take a look. When you're too low to have your bumper on. Pretty cool. We got a GT500, 2-valve, big wang. a big burnout?
No.
Come on, for the video.
No.
Go on, do it.
No.
Go on.
I just want everyone to know that I built that car.
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm doing.
Nah. What, the truck?
Yep.
Oh.
I do more than Fords. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Oh, it's happening. You're the Mustang lifestyle guy, right?
Yeah.
DJ, you better go! Oh, he's coming! He's coming! Danny! Oh, he's fucking with him! Go back!
Well, looks like the cops showed up. Yep, so the cops showed up after all the burnouts. What was weird was what the tow truck was trying to do. But yeah, I guess we're gonna roll out of here. Alright guys, so I guess that about wraps up this video. Hope you liked the video. Make sure you drop a like down below, leave a comment. Obviously we were a little disappointed about Turdzilla. I hope this meet was at least a little bit interesting. And yeah, so I'm gonna head home and try to figure out what the hell we were gonna do with Turdzilla and getting it back going, because I certainly missed that